As President Trump awaits a response from Iran on his latest peace proposal, the UK is now getting in on the action, dispatching a destroyer with air defense capabilities to the region. Here with what this means for the U.S., former Deputy National Security Advisor Steve Yates joins us. Steve, good morning. Thank you for joining us. We're now waiting, and Trey Yingst, our correspondent, has been reporting that, any day now we could get a response from Iran, but now the UK getting into the Strait of Hormuz picture. What do you make of all of this?
Well, first, good that they will put some capability into the fray. Freedom of navigation used to be central to British extended national interest. Maybe this is one of the fruits of King Charles's visit with President Trump, where the UK now, unlike with Prime Minister Starmer to date, is looking at constructive ways to be a part of the right side of this. And really, the Strait of Hormuz getting that open, free flow, especially from the non-Iranian ports, has to be front and center as a highest priority for the president, but also for our allies around the Gulf.
And it seems, Steve, that really every country should be in on this insofar as this is a freedom of navigation issue, as you mentioned, but Iran is trying to essentially claim sovereignty over an international waterway.
It's an outrageous claim, not a surprising one historically. Rogue actors tend to try to do these kinds of things. And it's an important point that's been muddled in the information warfare that Iran has been, sadly, a little bit good at doing. And it's that we have been pinning in their ports. But there should be free flow of goods and vessels through those international waterways, especially for the non-Iranian ports. That has been prisoner to the insurance companies who have overpriced that risk, but also because of a lack of support to escort and prove freedom of navigation by other allies. That's why it's important for more to get involved. Lloyd's of London is based in London, so the UK getting involved is maybe a step in the right direction, getting these markets right-sized.
And Steve, Tehran is clearly going to be top of mind when President Trump heads to China. And I've said it's the three T's: Tehran, trade, and Taiwan, likely to be the topic of discussion. But the previous trip in 2017, that garnered 37 deals that was worth more than $250 billion. Preview for us the president's visit and what it may mean for trade.
Well, there is a traditional or a classic approach to this that goes back at least as far as the Clinton administration when they normalized after the Tiananmen Square massacre sanctions were lifted. And the presidents and cabinet secretaries would have CEOs go and make deals. I think there's areas of this that should be open for negotiation: tariff levels, major ag purchases, maybe aircraft purchases. But there's parts that shouldn't be negotiable when they're engaging in unfair practices that disrupt our manufacturing supply chains, when they're engaged in monopolistic acts that control supply chains, critical ones like pharmaceuticals and maybe some other tech areas. Those should not be negotiable. And there's areas where we are competing with them and we need to win because they're trying to compete to win. That's AI, that's space, chips, but maybe even in the auto industry. Those are areas that maybe should not be as negotiable as these conversations move forward.
It's going to be interesting to learn, Steve, whether the conversation with respect to Iran bears some news, because as we all know, China gets 40% of its oil from that Strait of Hormuz, and that gives President Trump a lot of cards as he goes into these negotiations. Steve Yates, great insight as always. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.